Okay, what we're going to do now, I had mentioned that I'm going to talk about layers on this next one, so I'm going to do a real quick introduction to layers. So again, I'm going to start a drawing from the new prompt right here, and I can put my cursor up here and it gives me this icon that says new, or I go to the application menu and choose new, and now I can go ahead and take a look at layers. So I'm just going to go to the AutoCAD template, which we did last time, and I'm going to go into here. Now we want to go ahead and draw something. So I'm going to show you a couple things here. Layers. Layers are one of the most important things that you're going to deal with in AutoCAD, and they're really easy. They really are. So right up here is where your layers are involved. There's a few icons up here that change the visualization. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by showing you how many layers are in this drawing. And in here you have one lonely layer, the 0 layer. It's white, there's nothing on it. Okay, so that's a drawing that's made with the AutoCAD template. There's nothing in here. So if I want to make layers, I can go up here to Layer Properties. And I can click on Layer Properties and click there. Now, this is how we would make layers. Now, a couple things about this. I want to talk about this. First of all, you're going to notice that there is a row of headers up here, basically column headings right here. And what I want to do is right now, I can't read all these. You'll notice that right now some of these have dots. In other words, you can't read them all. So if that's the case, you can right click on one of these headings and go down here and maximize all the columns. And when you maximize all the columns, boom, you can read all these. Okay, that's a helpful thing. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to click on this. Looks like a stack of layers with a little sparkly, highly technical description, I know. But that's where your new layers are. So I click on New Layer. I'm going to create a new layer here. And what I always like to do for every drawing I'm working on, I'm going to make one called Object. And then over here, I'm going to give it a color. And the color I'm going to give this one is going to be cyan. Here's your color selector. And I'm going to use cyan, which is color number 4 down here. And I'm going to hit OK. And once I've done that, I've created one layer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer. Over here, click here. I'm going to create another layer. It's going to be called Dimensions. Like that. And I'm going to make this one red. And I go ahead and choose red. And I go there. Now over here, and again, you're going to notice that I can't really read those, so I'm just moving this over. Because as you pull your cursor up here, it turns into a double arrow, and so that means I can pull it this way or that way, and it's going to either lengthen or shorten the width of the column. One more, I'm going to make one called text. So over to here, T-E-X-T, I'm just typing. I'm going to change the color of this one to white. Now here, when you have a black background, color number 7 is white. If you have a white background in AutoCAD, this will be black. So I'm going to click on this, and that makes it white. So now I've got 3 layers, and then I can make a certain layer current a couple different ways. If I double click on it, it makes it current, or if I click this check mark, it makes it current. So I can go ahead and do that. And once I'm into here, I'm ready to go. So now I can go ahead and start to draw an object by clicking here, going to line, and picking a point here, and you'll see it's actually coming out. It's coming out actually in the cyan color that I just defined. So I've got that right there. So once I've got that right there, we're now in good shape. And that's how I go ahead and begin drawing with layers. And once I've gone ahead and done something like this, I'm going to touch that just to do this. Then what I can do is if I want to change the layer, it's easy enough to do. I go up here, I click on this. Now, when you click on this, don't click here, because if you do that, it's going to think you want to change the color. AutoCAD's very literal. If you go here or here, it's going to turn the layer off or freeze it or lock it. You just want to click on the actual letters that make up the word of the layer. So when I click on here, it makes it dimensions. Dimensions is now my current layer. And I'm just going to throw a dimension on here. So here's a quick introduction to making a dimension. You can click on linear here and you have your choices of making a linear dimension, aligned, angular, radius, or anything else. I'm just going to choose linear. I'm going to go ahead and pick a point here and pick a point here. So I pick 2 points, and then it asks me where I want to put it. My 3rd point's there. I'm going to do it one more time. So I start the linear can. Now notice what it's asking me. It asks me right now, specify first extension line origin. So I pick here. And then it says, specify second extension line origin here. And then it says, specify dimension line location. So it's 3 picks, 1, 2, 3. And that's how you would begin to work with your layers. the next lesson, we're actually going to start working on drawing A.